Nobody tells you the truth about turning 80. They give you the sugar-coated version, the greeting card nonsense. But here's what actually happens to your body and mind when you hit 8 decades, and trust me, some of this will surprise you. I'm talking about real changes that happen to nearly everyone at 80. Not the scary stuff you see on TV, not the doom and gloom. Just honest, real talk about what shifts in your life when you reach this age. Some of these changes are challenging, sure, but others, they might be the best things that ever happened to you. And that's not something people usually share. So today I'm breaking down 5 major things that transform at 80, whether you're ready for them or not. This isn't about getting older. It's about understanding what's coming so you can actually embrace it instead of fighting it. Let's get into it. Thing number 1, energy and sleep patterns transform completely. First up, your energy and sleep are going to do a complete flip on you. And I mean complete. Remember when you were 30 and could stay up until midnight, wake up at 6 a.m. and feel totally fine? Yeah, those days are long gone. At 80, your body runs on a completely different schedule. You might find yourself waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning without an alarm, wide awake, ready to go. But here's the thing that catches people off guard. It's not insomnia. Your body is actually working exactly how it's supposed to at this age. Your circadian rhythm, that internal clock that tells you when to sleep and wake up, it shifts earlier as you age, way earlier. Most 80-year-olds need about 7 to 8 hours of sleep, just like younger adults. But the timing changes. You might get tired at 7 or 8 p.m. when you used to stay up watching TV until 11. And those early mornings, they become your most productive time. The energy part is different too. You're not going to have that constant stream of energy you had at 40 or 50. Instead, your energy comes in waves. You might feel great in the morning, tackle some projects, see friends, go for a walk. But by early afternoon, you need rest. Real rest, not just sitting down, but actual downtime where your body recharges. A lot of people fight this. They think something's wrong with them because they can't power through the whole day anymore. But fighting it just makes you exhausted. The people who do well at 80 are the ones who listen to their bodies. They plan their important activities for when they have the most energy. They don't schedule doctor appointments at 4 p.m. They don't try to run errands all day long. And naps become your best friend. A 20 or 30-minute nap in the early afternoon can completely reset your energy for the rest of the day. There's no shame in it. Your body needs it. Another thing about sleep at 80 is that it's lighter. You don't drop into that deep, heavy sleep as easily. You might wake up a few times during the night. Maybe you need to use the bathroom. Maybe a noise outside wakes you up. This is normal. It's frustrating, but it's normal. What helps? Routine. Going to bed at the same time every night. Keeping your bedroom cool and dark. Avoiding screens before bed, even though everyone says that and nobody wants to hear it. But it's true. That blue light from your phone or tablet really does mess with your sleep at this age. The energy changes mean you have to be smarter about how you spend your day. You can't say yes to everything anymore. You have to pick what matters, and honestly, that's not a bad thing. It forces you to think about what you actually want to do with your time. Thing number 2, your social circle evolves in unexpected ways. Now let's talk about something that surprises almost everyone. Your friendships and social life are going to change in ways you never expected. By the time you're 80, some of your oldest friends might not be around anymore. That's the hard truth. You lose people, friends you've known for 50, 60 years. It's one of the toughest parts of reaching this age. But here's what nobody tells you. Your social circle gets smaller, but it gets so much better. You stop wasting time on people who drain you. You stop going to events you don't care about just because you feel obligated. You stop pretending to like people you don't actually like. At 80, you have zero patience for fake friendships. You want real connections, deep conversations, people who actually get you. And you know what? You find them. Sometimes you make new friends at 80 who become more important to you than friends you've had for decades. You meet someone at a community center or a doctor's office waiting room, and you just click. You understand each other because you're in the same stage of life. You're dealing with the same stuff. Your relationship with your family changes too. If you have adult children, they might start treating you differently. Sometimes they get overprotective. They worry about you more. They want to help, which is nice, but sometimes it feels like they think you can't do anything yourself. Grandkids and great-grandkids become incredibly important. Those relationships bring a kind of joy that's hard to describe. You get to be the fun one. You get to share your stories and your wisdom without all the pressure you had when you were raising your own kids. But social interaction itself becomes different. You might not want to go out as much. Big crowds can be overwhelming. Loud restaurants are annoying because you can't hear the conversation. You'd rather have a friend over for coffee in the morning than go out to dinner at night. And technology changes how you connect with people. Some 80-year-olds are amazing with video calls and texting. Others struggle with it. But either way, it becomes important. When you can't drive at night or when the weather's bad, being able to see your family on a screen matters. Loneliness is real at 80. It's something a lot of people deal with, especially if you've lost a spouse or partner. The house feels empty. The days feel long. This is why staying connected, even in small ways, is so important. A phone call, a short visit, a text message. These things matter more than ever. The people who thrive socially at 80 are the ones who stay open to new connections. They join groups. They volunteer. They find ways to be around people, even if it's just a few hours a week. Humans need connection at every age, but at 80, you have to be more intentional about creating it. Thing number 3, your relationship with time and priorities shifts. This one is huge. At 80, your entire relationship with time changes. When you're young, time feels endless. You think you have forever to do everything: travel, career, hobbies, relationships. You can always do it later. But at 80, you know you don't have forever. And that changes everything. Suddenly, you stop sweating the small stuff. That argument with your neighbor about the fence? Who cares? That grudge you've been holding for years? Let it go. You don't have time for nonsense anymore. Your priorities get crystal clear. You know exactly what matters and what doesn't. Family matters. Health matters. Meaningful experiences matter. Everything else, it's just noise. This shift makes you better at saying no. You don't feel guilty about turning down invitations to things you don't want to do. You don't force yourself to stay in uncomfortable situations. Your time is precious and you protect it. But here's the interesting part. Even though you're more aware that time is limited, you also become more present. You stop rushing through everything. You actually taste your food. You notice the sunset. You have real conversations instead of just exchanging small talk. A lot of people at 80 say they're less anxious about the future than they were at 50 or 60. They're not worried about retirement anymore because they're in it. They're not stressing about career advancement. They've let go of a lot of the pressure that drove them for decades. You also stop caring so much about what other people think. This is incredibly freeing. You wear what you want. You speak your mind. You don't need approval from anyone. If someone doesn't like you, that's their problem, not yours. Time moves differently at 80. Days can feel long, but years feel short. You might wake up and wonder where the last decade went. But then you spend an afternoon with a friend, and it feels like the most important thing in the world. People at this age often talk about legacy. What are they leaving behind? What will people remember about them? Not in a morbid way, but in a reflective way. You think about the impact you've had, the people you've helped, the love you've shared, and you become more grateful. Seriously. Study after study shows that older adults, especially those in their 80s, report higher levels of gratitude than younger people. You appreciate the simple things: a good cup of coffee, a sunny day, a call from someone you love. These aren't small things anymore. They're everything. Thing number 4, memory and mental processing reorganize. Okay, let's talk about the brain stuff. Because this is where people get scared, but it's not as bad as you think. Yes, your memory changes at 80, but not in the way most people assume. You're not losing your mind. Your brain is just working differently. Short-term memory gets tricky. You might walk into a room and forget why you went there. You might meet someone and forget their name 5 minutes later. You might lose your keys or your glasses more often. This is frustrating, but it's also completely normal. Your brain at 80 is holding on to decades of information. It's like a computer with a million files open. Sometimes it takes longer to find what you're looking for. But here's what's interesting. Long-term memory often stays sharp. You can remember things from 60 years ago in perfect detail. The house you grew up in, your first kiss, what your grandmother's kitchen smelled like. Those memories are locked in and they're vivid. You might struggle to remember what you had for breakfast, but you can tell stories from your childhood like they happened yesterday. Your brain prioritizes differently now. Processing speed slows down too. It might take you longer to learn something new or to figure out how to use a new gadget. This doesn't mean you can't learn. It just means you need more time and more repetition. A lot of 80-year-olds get frustrated with technology for this reason. It's not that they're incapable. It's that their brains process information at a different pace, and tech companies design everything for young, fast brains. The key is being patient with yourself. Write things down, use reminders, create systems that work for you. If you need a checklist before you leave the house, use a checklist. There's no shame in adapting. And here's some good news. Wisdom is real. Your ability to see the big picture, to understand complex situations, to give good advice, that actually improves with age. You have context that younger people don't have. You've seen patterns repeat. You understand human nature in a way that only comes from living for 8 decades. Your emotional regulation gets better too. You don't fly off the handle as easily. You can handle stress and disappointment with more grace. Your brain has had a lot of practice dealing with life's ups and downs. Some people do experience more serious cognitive changes at 80, memory problems that interfere with daily life, confusion, difficulty making decisions. If this happens, it's important to talk to a doctor, but for most people, the changes are manageable. Your brain is still working. It's just working in a different way than it used to. Thing number 5, a profound sense of freedom and authenticity. And now for the last one. And honestly, this might be the best one. At 80, you experience a level of freedom and authenticity that you've probably never felt before in your life. It's like someone lifted a weight off your shoulders that you didn't even know you were carrying. You stop performing for other people. You stop trying to be someone you're not. You stop worrying about fitting in or measuring up. You just exist as yourself, and it feels amazing. All those years you spent trying to impress people or live up to expectations, gone. You've earned the right to be exactly who you are, and most people at this age will tell you it's one of the greatest gifts of getting older. You say what you mean. You don't dance around topics or bite your tongue to be polite. If you disagree with something, you say so. If you love something, you express it. There's no filter, and there doesn't need to be. You wear what makes you comfortable, not what's fashionable. You eat what you want. You spend your time how you want to spend it. You've put in your years of conforming, and now you're free. This authenticity affects your relationships too. The conversations you have at 80 are real. You're not making small talk about the weather unless you actually want to talk about the weather. You go deep. You talk about life and death and meaning and love. The surface level stuff doesn't interest you anymore. You also become more comfortable with who you are physically. All those insecurities about your body, most of them fade. Your body has carried you for 80 years. It's been through a lot. You're not trying to look 30 anymore. You're not comparing yourself to magazine covers. You accept yourself in a way that feels peaceful. There's also a sense of accomplishment that comes with reaching 80. You've survived a lot. You've lived through wars, recessions, personal tragedies, health scares. You've raised families, built careers, overcome obstacles. You're tougher than you give yourself credit for. And because of that, you have perspective. Things that would have devastated you at 40 don't shake you as much at 80. You know that most problems pass. You know that you've handled worse. You trust yourself more. This freedom also means you give yourself permission to enjoy life in simple ways. You don't need big vacations or expensive things to be happy. A good book, a walk in the park, time with people you love. These are the things that matter, and you know it. A lot of people at 80 talk about feeling more spiritually connected. Whether they're religious or not, there's a sense of being part of something bigger, of understanding your place in the universe, of accepting the cycle of life. You make peace with your past, the mistakes you made, the opportunities you missed, the people you hurt or who hurt you. You can't change any of it, so you let it go. You forgive yourself and others. You move forward lighter. And weirdly, even though you're closer to the end of your life, many people at 80 report feeling less afraid of death. Not because they want to die, but because they've lived fully. They've done what they came here to do. They've loved people. They've experienced joy. They've made an impact. When you've lived a full life, death doesn't feel as scary. This doesn't mean every day at 80 is perfect. You still have hard days. You still feel pain and sadness and frustration. But underneath it all, there's this foundation of freedom and authenticity that makes everything more bearable. Conclusion. So there you have it. 5 things that happen at 80, whether you're ready for them or not. Your energy and sleep change completely, and you learn to work with your body instead of against it. Your social circle gets smaller but deeper, and your friendships become more meaningful. Your relationship with time shifts, and you finally understand what actually matters. Your memory reorganizes, but your wisdom grows, and you experience a profound sense of freedom and authenticity that makes all the challenges worth it. Turning 80 isn't what most people think it is. It's not just decline and loss, it's transformation. It's hard in some ways, absolutely, but it's also beautiful in ways you can't understand until you get there. The people who do best at this age are the ones who accept these changes instead of fighting them. They adapt. They find joy in new places. They stay connected. They keep moving forward. And honestly, that's good advice at any age. If this helped you understand what to expect or gave you some perspective, hit that subscribe button for more honest talk about aging and health.